Everyone in Romania was waiting to see what would happen. The 2025 election was super important. It was about way more than who would be in charge. It was about what Romania stands for. Nicusor, the mayor of Bucharest, wanted to work with other countries in Europe. He represented hope and change. George Simeon, the leader of the AUR party, wasn't so keen on Europe. He talked a lot about nationalism. When all the votes were counted, Dan won. He got a lot of votes, which means he can really make changes. This wasn't just a win for Dan, it was a win for democracy, like when people get to choose their leaders. It showed that Romanians don't want extremism, which has been a problem in Europe lately. By choosing Dan, Romania told the world, "We're with Europe, we're with democracy, and we want a good future." Nicusor didn't just win by luck. He worked really hard for years and always stuck to his plan for Romania. He's really smart. He's a mathematician. So he understands the problems Romania faces. He talked a lot about stopping corruption, making the economy better, and staying close with the European Union. Lots of Romanians liked what he had to say, especially young people who want things to change. They saw Dan as someone who gets them and will fight for them. His win shows that hope is powerful and a better future is possible. George Simeon and his ideas didn't do well at all. Simeon wanted to be like other leaders in Europe and America who don't like the European Union. He said he'd make Romania great again and complained about immigration and the EU. Some people agreed with him, but most people didn't. It seems like Romanians don't want leaders who blame other people. They want someone who can bring everyone together and solve problems. Lots of people voted in this election, over 64%. That's the most people to vote in a Romanian presidential election in a long time. This shows how important the election was and how much people want change. The lines at the voting booths were really long, but that's a good thing. It shows that democracy is strong in Romania. Everyone, young and old, rich and poor, from cities and from the countryside, came out to vote. They knew this was their chance to make a difference. Millions of Romanians live in other countries. They really mattered in this election. Many of them left Romania looking for better jobs and a better life. They were watching closely to see what would happen back home. In the end, they mostly voted for Dan. They saw him as someone who understood them and would speak up for them in Europe. Their votes showed that Romania belongs in Europe. Dan's win is important for the whole world, especially with the war in Ukraine and the problems between Russia and other countries. Simeon likes Russia and doesn't like that Romania is helping Ukraine. Many people thought Russia wanted Simeon to win, so Dan winning is bad news for Russia's leader Vladimir Putin. It shows that Romania is sticking with NATO, the European Union and Ukraine. It tells Russia, "We're not scared of you and we'll protect democracy and freedom." Leaders all over the world were happy that Dan won. European leaders were worried about the rise of populism in Romania, so they were relieved. They see Dan as someone they can trust to work with them and stand up to Russia. Leaders from many countries sent congratulations. The French and German leaders said Dan's win was a win for Europe and democracy. Even though everyone was celebrating, there were some problems. Some people said Russia tried to mess with the election, which has happened before in Romania. There were stories about fake news on social media trying to make Dan look bad and Simeon look good. We don't know for sure how much Russia was involved, but it makes people worry. It reminds us that democracy is delicate and we need to protect it. Nicusor is becoming president at a tough time, but also a time with lots of possibilities. Romania has problems like corruption, poor people, and the war in Ukraine affecting its energy. Dan will need to be very clever to handle all of this, but Romania also has good things going for it. It has lots of young people, a good location in Europe, and people who want change. If Dan can use these good things and keep his promises, Romania has a bright future.